Hello everyone, tonight I'm going to be showing you how to use the updated character sheet for MRPG developer character sheet. This is not the final draft, but this is the current final draft. So, this is the way this sheet works. Okay, you come down, first thing you're going to do is you'll see your information. You can set your XP as necessary per your campaign, but we're not going to worry about that in this video. You're going to come over to race. You're going to look at your races. If your race is listed, fantastic. If it's not, then you'll have some work, a little bit of work to do. Okay, so the race, I'm just going to use one of the races listed to make things easy on myself. And we're going to go with Lightfoot Halfling. Actually, no. I want to do some sort of caster. Here, we'll do Protector Azamar. Alright, and then we hit save. Now what that did is, because it was already listed in that racial list, we wait for it to finish loading and calculating, and we come down and we see that it's already added those stats to our stat list. So then we'll come over to our class, and you'll put your class in the property and your level in the modifier, because this PC level is your total level across all your classes, and then that modifier is your level in just that class. So if you are single class, then it will be your modifier and your level will be the same. Subclass, this will be obviously whatever archetype you choose. You'll hit save. It'll save. Pretty sure that doesn't change anything in the sheet. And then you'll come over here and you'll set your stats based on how your DM is doing stats. These will obviously be set however you do such things. I'm going to set these with my current rules. And that will be my hero point spread, which my hero point spread is everything starts at 10, you have 30 points to spend. Now if you come down, you'll see that it based your saves. Armor, this one you can do as it says, whatever your armor base value is plus your dex mod. As a sorcerer, that's how I'm going to type it in, but you, as any class, it doesn't have to, you can be a sorcerer and type it in this way as well. You can instead put what your dex mod is. So I scroll up, my dex mod is 1. I could put 10 plus 1. If you really want to, you can also put 11. But I, as a DM, prefer my players to separate it, so that way I know what's armor, what's dex, and then anything else would go into bonus gear mod separately. Then you'll set the total HP, which I'm not using this character, so I'm just going to set a number. Current HP would be the same as total HP unless you've taken damage. Speed will most likely be 30. That's per race. There is a feat that is either in Unearthed Arcana or Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I'm not sure if they put it in Xanathar's. You would have to check. That does give the smaller races like Gnome and Halfling an extra 5 feet of movement speed. Now, you're going to come to proficiencies, and proficiencies, you will put your saves, which I forget what both sorcerer saves are, so we're just going to go wisdom. No, we're going to go constitution, just for the sake of a video. And then you'll pick your skills to be proficient in. You can just write those in. If you are a player that has expertise, you can put your skills that are expertise in there. Do note that it does not properly calculate thieves' tools. Even if you have expertise, do not put the skill in proficiencies. Put it only in expertise. For whatever reason, it does not give thieves' tools the double value for expertise. It only gives it a single. Adding thieves' tools to proficiency does not fix this. This is just a bug in this particular sheet. So when I move on to macros, we'll build a macro to adjust thieves' tools for expertise for those of us using thieves' tools. Weapons. I usually replace this weapon name with whatever weapon I'm using. Whoops. That's not how we spell quarterstaff. Dangle, swipe, keyboard. And then over here I'll put like its properties. And whatever its properties are. Proficiency mod will automatically fill in. This ability mod, you will delete that, and you will put plus strength mod unless you are using a finesse weapon, in which case you have the option to also put dex mod. Your ability mod will be the same down here. So you can copy and paste that if you truly wanted to. It's up to you. You can also, again, substitute for the numbers themselves. You don't have to actually put the colon strength dash mod colon. That's just what I prefer to do. If you know your strength mod is 3, you can just put 3. I do personally prefer my players to stack each thing individually. So if they have, say, Great Weapon Master, or is it Fighter, one of the two, when they can do a neg 5, I do prefer them to put neg 5 at the end of that attack roll. But that's just me. If you've got a +2 because it's a +2 weapon, put +2 at the end. But your DM obviously will override anything I tell you in this video. If they have any different rules. And you just set the D, whatever damage it is. I believe a quarterstaff is D8. I'm just kind of rolling with it. Come down here, and your DM, if your actions, points, or marks are not here, your DM can add them. This is only if you have any of these things, at which point, you would just tap the one that you have and you'd fill it in. And then you'd hit save, and then you'd hit back. Spell casting, you'll put this in particular does not affect any part of the sheet other than allowing the DM to just scroll down and know, okay, this is what if you have multi-class, you can put the multi-class in there and the DM will know what to search. Multi-class does not work with this casting ability. It's just not built for it. If you have a multi-class, you can always ask your DM to add another casting ability, like another spell casting section for your multi-class. in order to give you, the setup for those spells. Ask your DM. Spells, you can just type those in as per normal. We'll show you how to cast those in a minute as well. And then personality traits, those are just the filler. You can add those as necessary. Features and traits, that's where you would put, the background feature that you get, different things that your class grants, things that you'll need to keep track of, like how the rogue has the bonus action to disengage, dash, or hide. But you wouldn't need to record its sneak attack in there because you're most likely going to remember that when it comes to combat and you're using it to deal more damage. Racial traits, it's good to put that in, those things in there. Like as a protector Aasimar, they can sprout forth wings and fly briefly. So I would put that ability in my racial traits so that way I can keep a better track of it and remember what it is and what it does. Aasimar also get a touch heal that's 1 HP per level. That would also go in the racial traits. I would not put the +2 charisma, +2 wisdom into the racial traits because that has already been accounted for above. Feats, that's where you would put your feats. And then coin, keep track of your money. And then inventory would just add item. And then you could put the name. Still doesn't want to spell quarterstaff. If it has a specific value, like it's a gem or something, you can put its value there. So like it allows you to go all the way through. Modifier, I mean, if it's just like a +1 weapon, you can put +1 right there. Quantity is however many you have. And description, if it's like, a zealot's blade, and, it's a magic item, and it gives bonus abilities, and it gives other things, you can put that in the description, so that way you can keep track of those things, and you can remember what they do. And then you'll hit save on your sheet, and then you can back yourself out to your campaign. I'm not backing out to the campaign that I'm in. I'm moving into a different campaign. Whoops, that was the wrong campaign because I don't want to spam the chat of one of my actual campaigns with that. And then, so come in here, and then we activate the character sheet. Now, this is how you choose between your character sheet. You will see this one, which does bare basic dice rolls. I don't like using that one. I think it's easier to just type the slash, and then type in whatever dice rolls you want to do. But you can put it in, you can use it, the dice calculator, any way you want. I mean, if you want to, that's up to you. This you won't see unless you're DM. This is the narrator box. It'll appear as the normal boxes, but instead of gray, it'll be black. That's usually what your DM will use to navigate the story. This can either appear as no profile picture or whatever your profile picture is. This will be your out of character chat. You can chat as yourself in that chat. You will only see as many of these little helmets as are assigned to you. These are the different character sheets. As a DM, you will see everybody's character sheets. The way I remedy this is I'll come in here, I'll go into more settings, and I like to show character name on selection and show character initials over avatar. And if you're a DM and you don't want people being able to bold, italicize, or strike through, you can disable text formatting from here as well. As you can see, both sheets are named G. So we're gonna fix that on one of these. But the way I like my characters to fill in their sheets is, whoops, sorry about that, folks. is similar to that. I like the character's name. I like them to have their AC in there. And I like them to have their current and max HP. Some players will also put the eye emoji, the 2 eyes emoji, and then put their passive perception in there as well. You don't necessarily have to do that. It is helpful, but it's not necessary. Alright, so now that we're on Greg, we can see that when I tap his name, I see Greg AC 17, HP 47 out of 54. That's helpful to the DM. That's also helpful to the player, because now you only have to tap your name to see where you're at, and you don't have to actually post or go into your character sheet. But as you can see, as the DM, you as a player, if your name is set up as the AC and the HP, you will see that on this little helmet it says GA1H. It goes further on, it'll be 4 will be the next one that shows up. And that should be where it stays, where it stops. But that's just because it's Greg AC 17 HP 42 or 47 or whatever I put. So that is how you will select between in character, out of character, and if you choose the dice roller. Now, if the sheet is set up properly, when you attack, you can go hashtag and then do main hand if it's a weapon attack. And when you send that, if everything's filled in, it will roll it as necessary. But as you can see, Greg does not have everything filled in, so it gives me an unknown function. You will not get this if your sheet is complete. You will actually get numbers and results. So don't stress that my video does not have that. Because as you can see, I changed sheets, which was silly of me in hindsight, but that's how we learn. For spellcasters, this sheet is amazing. So, say I'm a wizard, and I've never cast Bigby's floating hand before, but I have it, and I want to cast it so I can test out what it does. Or I just want to look at it. Which, if you decide you want to use the sheet to test out spells, which I highly recommend, I use this sheet that I'm currently using right now, as you can see, to look at spells and see what they do before I cast them in an actual game. But that's up to you how you do that. Your DM probably won't be too excited if you're like, I think I want to cast Bigby's hand, and then you put it in the chat and then you read it and you're like, no, maybe I want to cast this one, and you just keep changing, because they are walls of text. The spells are walls of text because they are the full description. So you will be filling up quite a bit of chat space. So I strongly recommend watching the video on how to create a new campaign and add an existing character sheet, and use a personal campaign with just yourself in order to test out DM features, in order to test out spells. But, so Greg wants to cast Bigby's hand. So I type : Bigby's hand : and now it has Bigby's hand. And as you can see, there are error messages, but they are erroring because he does not have stats filled out. So it will have that. Say you're a mage and you have all your stuff filled out and you want to cast Magic Missile or Fireball, rather. Sorry, I was trying to get something with an attack roll. I don't know why I went for Magic Missile. It's the only spell that doesn't have attack roll. That's offensive. It's the only spell that automatically hits no matter what. It's offensive. But you will see it will automatically tell everybody that reads it what the saving throw is. It makes the attack roll for you, and it will roll damage for you. And if it's a cantrip, it will also scale based on your level. So if your cantrip does 1d8 at level 1 and then 2d8 at level 5, when you set your XP high enough for your PC level to be 5, typing in that spell will calculate the 2d8 damage. So keep that in mind. Now, we're going to come in and we're going to hit up near the top where the campaign name is. We're going to show you how to make personalized macros, which I do also have a macro video. But I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on macros in this video. But we're going to come into macros. And regardless of whether you're a player or a DM, you will see all of the public macros. If you are a DM, you will see new public macro. If you are a player, you will not. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, both players and DMs will see new private macro. Private macro is a macro that you make yourself, and it will only apply to you. So if I make a new private macro as a DM, then only I can use it. I can use it on any sheet, but only I can use it. So DMs, if you are setting a macro for another player, make it public. Or give them the macro and walk them through how to make a private macro, which can be done in this video or my macro video. So we'll go in here and we're going to call this Thieves Tools. Because as you remember, Thieves Tools does not work efficiently with expertise. So here we're going to go D20 plus Thieves Tools plus 2. And even though I don't have expertise in Thieves Tools, this is just to do it. If you want to test it, you can choose your character sheet, you can hit test, and as you can see, D20 plus 4 plus 2, he rolled a 16. Plus 4 plus 2 is an extra 6, so that makes 22. If you get an error message, then that means you messed up in the macro box. But this is a great way to make sure that you typed everything in right. And then you can hit save, and then back out, and then come back. And then you can come over here, and when you do hashtag TH, you'll get hashtag Thieves Tools, and then tap it, and then boom. This time he rolled a 2. And that's how you make a private macro. And I believe that's everything I'm going to cover in this video. And I hope you all have a wonderful time. And if there's anything else you need, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to get a video out as soon as I can. I do have a pretty busy schedule though. So bear that in mind for me. Alright, have a wonderful night.